they called? Lav mics?
Lavalier.
Dude, we gotta get those.
I got a
lanyard
lanyard mic right here.
Dude, what was the Langoliers? You guys know that?
Oh,
Langolier.
yeah. Stephen King, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Where they're
That
in, like,
scared me a lot as a kid.
They're in like the interdimensional airport or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it a ton, but they were like big, squishy, round balls.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mouths,
The
yeah.
evil
or something.
Pac-Man thing.
Too much for me,
Dude,
man.
I love Stephen King shit. So
Yeah.
much of it is so bad, but I still love it.
I mean, but yeah, it's he's like a weird fiction guy, you know?
Oh yeah, but he's like a machine though. Just like
Yes.
his body of work is so fucking huge.
He doesn't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Hey, are we
Doesn't
recording?
Stop. Yes, we are recording.
Oh, hey, welcome to Hive Scum.
What's this podcast about?
It's about Stephen King.
It's a grim
questionable.
and gritty podcast for the 28 community, I heard.
It is that.
Yeah.
You did.
I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
I'm Steve at Southern.
I'm Phil at Blood Transfusion.
Does David go
No,
last?
you go first.
Okay, I'm Steve. I'm Terry at Stone.jaw.
We're joined today by
I'm David.
Yes.
At David
By
Hoskins.
David
David Hoskins.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
The man with no name.
the man with no. He just said
I
his
think
name.
he just said his name.
He flew all the way
How do you
here
know that's his real
He
name?
was on a plane for 12 hours straight.
Oh,
just to record this episode. That's the only reason he's here. He's going home actually right
after this, he's just hopping back in the plane.
The Patreon's paid for my flight.
yeah.
Oh, those beautiful patrons. You know, they're great.
They're good
great.
for something.
They're good for something.
Oh, should we tell everyone about the news?
We have to tell everyone.
Yeah, we should really tell everyone.
We got evicted.
We got
got
evicted,
evicted.
but
We're
not because it's our fault, really.
It's Phil's fault.
It's Phil's
It's
fault.
Phil's fault.
Stop it.
You have to find out in the Patreon episode what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad though, Phil.
It does suck.
Yeah, Phil, you shouldn't have done what you
Actually, it
did.
kind of rocks. The new space is going to rock.
They're
Well,
fucking gaslighting me.
Phil,
He put rocks in the
he
transformer.
delivered a baby.
Yeah, I delivered
Yeah.
a baby illegally. I put rocks in a transformer.
He was throwing closed
What was the
bottles
other
of
thing
Coke
you-
Zero at the windows of
What was
the
the thing
upstairs
you said? I
tenants.
put dead fish in a
Dead frogs.
Dead frogs in the
dead
air
birds and
conditioner.
dead frogs in an
Thank
air
you, Studio Ghost.
Yeah. Dude, you can't talk about it. We already got
true.
haunted twice
It's true.
since I mentioned it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Also, go listen on the Patreon for me to mention that, and then just immediately after we finish recording, things start falling off of the shelves.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's your fault. It's
I
literally
know
your
it's
fault.
yours, but we're almost out of the studio, so I figured now is a safe time to mention it. It might be the worst time to
But
mention it.
hold on, that also goes into the fact that we have a new space.
Yes, we
We're
do.
fine, but I think the new space is just as likely, if not more likely, to be haunted than this one.
Yeah,
So,
someone definitely died in that mill at some point.
Yeah.
during
Is
its
it
operation.
it's a mill?
It's an
Yeah,
old
it's an
mill.
old mill. It's
Oh,
another
it's next
part
to
of
the
this
river.
historical. Yeah, because you know how this is the old town hall.
Yeah.
It's an old mill building. That's part of the same, because this was the company town.
They did gunpowder there?
Gunpowder, yeah. The Hazard Gunpowder Company made, what did he say, 45%
Yep.
of the Union Army's gunpowder in the
Insane.
Civil War.
45%.
45% was
ephemeral.
made right here on this street.
Amazing.
He had a bunch of like old ephemerals, just
Yeah,
Stuff
stuff
framed
from
up.
the old Hazard.
He has two
Gunpowder
barrels
Company.
that are, he said, mint condition.
OG,
Mint condition.
Mint condition gunpowder
OB,
barrels. Yeah.
original barrels.
Well, that's good for him. He seems like a good guy.
Hey,
he's
like a local history
Pat,
guy.
You know, he should
Yeah.
get a belt, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really needs a.
Well, you know,
we'll get him a
I
Hive
saw
Scum belt.
into that man's soul. His ass was so exposed.
well, you know, Pat, if you're listening, we love it anyways. Yeah, but anyways, so Stephen King, going back to that.
Well, you want me to keep talking?
I don't know.
There was,
What-
Yeah,
there was
I like-
nothing
we cut
else.
you
What are your
off.
3 favorite facts about Stephen King.
Yeah, name 3 things.
I think he's so ugly. That's a
wow,
fact. That's a
dude, he
fact.
got like hit by a car
I
or
was
something.
gonna say that's
right?
my other fact.
Is he ugly?
He
Is ugly.
He got hit by a car.
Was he? Do you think was he ugly before he got hit by the car? Was it the car?
No. Well, I do like that all of his not all, but most of his works, whether it's tangentially or not, all fit into like one cosmology.
Oh, we talked about
We
this.
talked
yeah.
about
this.
But
Yeah.
it's
Dark
still
Tower.
cool. Will you hate the Dark Tower shit?
I've
Well,
never,
Dark Tower- you
I-
never read it.
I've only heard about it in this spot.
where it's us talking about, oh, it started out so good and then it sucks.
And then
Yeah,
Star Wars,
yeah.
Giant
Marvel.
turtle
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah, book 5 or so.
yeah, once you get to about
yeah.
book 5, you're like, what is even going on?
Yeah.
You read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you finish the series?
So I don't know if I finished. I got to the last book, and I
Okay.
don't know if I finished it
So
or not.
I made it to book 5 where it.
That's wolves, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
Wolves.
Wolves of the Cala.
Where like
yeah.
the Doombots.
Oh yeah,
are
there's
out
also
there
it
and
just gets real Ready Player One mode.
Yeah, it gets
A
real
little,
Magic
yeah.
the
And I'm
Gathering.
like, what is going on here? And then
gets-
I haven't read. I don't think I've read anything
We should
by
talk about
Stephen
that.
King since.
I'm down to talk
No,
about the.
I don't wanna
I'm
talk
down to
about
talk
it.
about
No.
Magic the
Universes
Gathering
Beyond.
again.
No, we should
I'm-
not.
Bad.
We should
I'm
not.
dude. I
Bad.
finally have things to say about Magic because
This is a good take. This is an awesome take.
Yeah.
so when you guys swap Magic, I always zone out, and
Yeah, totally.
I promise
We could tell.
I promise to continue doing that because a lot of the time I just don't know. I don't know the I'm not deep enough in the world to ever know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I played Commander last week, and it is the most fun I've ever had playing Magic.
Tell him.
It was
Phil won a game.
Yeah.
I won a
Dude, I
game
saw
with
that
the-
board state. It was fucked up.
no,
Yeah.
I lost that game,
Okay.
but I won with the Minotaur deck.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Tell him how you won.
with banned cards.
Yeah.
The Dockside Extortionist
Yeah.
won the game for me. I was
And how
playing-
cool is that card?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was playing
Well,
against
Wizards of the Coast is going to come fucking assassinate you
so
now.
everyone,
say that.
everyone
Are
else,
gonna come.
yeah.
everyone else had all
Counter
sorts of
this.
artifacts, enchantments. So the Dockside Extortionists, banish them all. I have 1,000,000 tokens. I then play every single Minotaur that's in my hand,
Yep.
Ugh,
which I
dump
had
'em.
stacked of
Yep.
Minotaurs,
Fast mana.
and then
Notorious problem.
because I had anger.
Binders full of
So the
Minotaurs.
card that's called Anger in my graveyard. So they had haste.
They all have haste.
And all the Minotaurs that went down also created Minotaur tokens.
yep.
And then I had some other enchantments that were buffing all the red creatures
You
and stuff.
feel the joy I see in your
So
face right now?
literally,
Yep.
one Dockside Extortionist. Everything in my hand is played, and I just killed everyone.
And
one,
it's-
I'm
and
like,
it's
oh,
glorious.
that's cool. This is the coolest thing that's
And
ever
you're like,
happened.
Magic is the best game
Like,
ever.
this is the
Yeah.
coolest
Yeah.
game.
And then you're going to play against SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No,
Mr.
we
Krabs.
talked
So
about
the
this.
thing, here's the thing that made it fun was that the people that I was playing with are not, they're about as new as I am, and they don't have crazy decks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of the,
Yeah.
most of the experience I have is playing against these like crazy high powered decks.
Right.
Very like solo style players.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I a lot of time I'm just like kind of in my corner, just seeing what am I drawing? Can I do anything with
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel very integrated.
Battleship mode where no one's really doing too much interaction unless something gets
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
hand, but you're building your little battleship.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked on it.
I haven't played Magic in years, but I would want to try like Pauper.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like commons, uncommons, right? No
Yep.
rares, no mythics or.
Pauper Commander
Yeah.
is also getting a crazy revival now because of people getting pissed off about all the bans.
Sure.
Especially shout out the Australians that are making it popular on the Discord and stuff. But
Oh, yeah?
Pauper Commander is like probably one of the most fun things you can do because especially a lot of those Universes Beyond cards don't fit into it as well.
Yeah.
But they're playing like peasant though, right? Where you can use like 15 uncommons.
I think that's for that one charity event.
because that's fun. Just
Yeah.
commons only gets a little boring, but when you
Yeah.
add uncommons to the deck,
Dude, let's go with rats. So
Yep.
many rats.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, dude,
there's
that's a
so
great
many
deck.
cards with that now.
Yeah.
That sludge card or slime card now.
Oh,
Does the same
dude, the
thing.
classic Slimer
Slimer.
from the Ghostbusters
Well, okay.
set.
All right. Anyway, before we lose two of our listeners that don't play Magic,
Well,
Two of the three.
So
you don't want to talk about Universes Beyond?
No.
And half of their sets
No.
being Universes Beyond
because
Okay.
I have a
All right.
I have a take.
Get him?
I have a bad
Are
take.
you on the clock?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Phil's
going
on the
after that
clock
fly?
right now. I saw
Going
that.
after that fly.
On the clock.
You can't take the dog out of me.
Yeah, baby. Even the off hours. What's your bad take that you like SpongeBob decks?
He thinks it's cool.
Universes Beyond is no different than you making your own cards.
Yeah, except that
Except they cost money.
Yeah.
But if I print a SpongeBob card, it's the same as Terry making his own weird cards.
Yeah, but Wizards makes it more acceptable, and therefore I don't like it.
It's an
I
interesting take.
But well, the thing
That's
is,
not a
right,
bad-
if
that's
you
a
have
pretty
100
interesting
cards
take.
that are something I've never seen before, but
Yeah,
the cards
yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
it's not that bad. If I don't know, if you're like, hey, I'm playing my banding. I mean, we're losing so many people in this conversation, but
Oh, come on,
I'm
they all
playing
love
my
Magic the
banding
Gathering.
horsemanship deck, right? Cards you
Yeah.
have to look up rules for, but you
Look up rules. I know them by heart.
Okay,
dude.
yeah.
They're deep.
All right, cool. So, so you come up with these obscure cards that you made all the custom art for.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have to look it up the same way I'm gonna have to if I look at the SpongeBob cereal box art card.
I the only thing I'll say to
Yeah,
this is
it's
I
interesting.
agree
I like
because
that.
when everyone was doing this and saying I'm going to make an entire custom EDH deck, I said, "Well, I'm just not going to play against your deck." Because
Wow,
I
mean.
love
So
the aesthetic,
mean.
but it needs to
Is it-
maintain the standard, so I know. What
I don't
the
know how
fuck
much
I'm
of a,
looking at.
All right,
parallel
okay,
it is,
so you
but
hate-
sometimes
you hate me.
Sometimes
no, I like looking at the card and like knowing what it does.
sometimes playing against someone in like a tabletop game when they're proxying, like there's an understanding that this is this, but like in the moment, I feel like for me constantly it would be like, oh, I wouldn't have targeted it if I knew that wasn't, even though in the abstract I know this is a proxy for something else.
Yes.
I just visually see, oh, it's this guy with like a melt-a-gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think of it as such.
I'm targeting it because I think it's bad, but it's not actually.
But when I realize, oh, fuck, that's not actually what it is.
It's actually a Birds of Paradise. And The classic Birds of Paradise.
I don't know how much of a parallel that is, but to me, that's sort of like the argument against wanting to play against any sort of like proxy
or glossing over it, because I already gloss over so many people's board states as is. So like adding a mixture of I have no idea what that is.
And don't get me wrong.
Oh, I will.
And specifically, Terry's cards they're like the most beautiful thing on the board. But I will have to pick it up 6 times to look at it to remember it's a Birds of Paradise. Well, not
and to admire
birds, but yes, that's
why I keep picking it up is to admire it.
But Phil, going back to what you were saying, what do you think then about like what if somebody had an entirely like kit bashed army? Would that get really confusing for you?
Not if
Thank God you brought it back to Warhammer.
So it's not even necessarily kit bash. It's more so if it is like a recognizable model that's from the same game, and it's just being used intentionally as something else.
I see. Like, okay. I get you.
Now, do you think that argument carries over for base sizes versus models themselves? Like, if I'm like, oh, I have a great unclean one, but it's like a guardsman that has like a tentacle.
I think that's dumb.
Well, I mean, the idea with the base size.
I mean, we're arguing semantics anyway.
Something with a bigger base can get more things into base-to-base contact.
So if I glue one guardsman onto a large base,
then that's fine.
And you'll remember a great unclean one.
It's not that it's not that I'll remember. It's more so that like it'll feel less like corny.
Yeah, because it's Nurgle.
Yeah.
That would be cool to have just like a little like Nurgling on like a giant base, and it's just like this guy is
Golden Demon 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
It
was just on a huge pile of skulls.
It was a demon prince, but it was just a Nurgling on top of a pile of skulls on the correct size base.
That's awesome. I love that shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Anyway, so usually we talk about what we've been working on. What have you been working on, DH?
God.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Anything that
Were
you
you allowed
could
to talk about?
You had 13 hours of a plane ride to think about this.
Yeah.
For the people who don't,
with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
For the people who aren't familiar with you, from what do you want to give yourself a little
introduction,
spiel, intro?
I'm David Hoskins. I do illustration and some layout work for tabletop RPGs. Steve is positioning the mic to my face a little bit better.
He'll do that.
Is that okay, Steve?
Yeah,
Am I good?
It's adequate.
All right. And I'm also art director at Exalted Funeral.
Yeah, baby.
A legendary homie.
So right now I'm wrapping up some illustrations for Max Moon's Abyss of Hallucinations. That was a Kickstarter. That was a while ago, and it's late because of me. So I got to get it done. And then I haven't been taking on as much freelance lately just because of just been real busy with life, like in hurricanes down in Florida and all kinds of bullshit. Like it's been one thing after the other down south.
Dave lives in the hotbed of hurricanes.
Yeah, is like I think we got 3 of them, three big ones this year.
When are you moving to Connecticut?
Yeah, man, just get me out of there. I'm ready. I'm ready to leave Florida, especially at the moment. The political climate there does not suit me.
Well, this space is opening up.
Yeah, we have a 1.5 size like love seat you can.
Yeah, there it is. It looks really comfy. It looks really broken.
That's where Phil sleeps.
Real broken in.
I
Real
slept
comfy.
on it. Yeah.
But Abyss of Hallucinations is gonna be really cool. It's based on Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies.
Oh, cool.
Oh no!
So this is the 3rd volume. I did the monster illustrations for volume 2, and so there's a 3rd volume that's coming out, and also a collected volume that was a part of the same Kickstarter. That's the collected volume is going to be beautiful, and it's going to come with a I think it comes in a slipcase is what we're doing, and it will have a like a actual copy of Crowley's Book of Lies.
Oh,
with it.
That's so cool.
It won't have the commentary because that's not public domain yet, but the actual book is. And that's been a real interesting one to work on because you kind of have like Max's interpretation of the entries, but then I crack the book open, I get into it, and it is a book of lies. So you kind of have to pick apart like what's real and what isn't, and what's Crowley, like, poking fun at somebody, or if he's being serious or if he's being silly. And a lot of times there's like a mix of that. So trying to do that and make it still look like gnarly and unsettling. I try to, like, Max has let me go a little, like, he lets me go a little more off the rails than some of the other work. So that's been a lot of fun too. So, like, there's like wieners in it and stuff,
Oh, hell yeah.
We love wieners. Yeah.
Is that the one that comes with the cassette tape as well?
There is a cassette.
The
Max.
Cthulhugans?
Yeah, that's Max and his buddy Kyle.
And their Honk Team.
And Honk Team.
Yep.
Shout out.
Nice.
And those fellas are doing a game called Rumpus coming out. It's it's fairies, and it's on I believe a 12x12 board.
Yep.
And they like hop around and they eat items and they try to kill each other. I need to read it. I've got the print and play in my bag, but I didn't get a chance to read it yet. But
I think we have the PDF printed around here somewhere.
yeah,
cool.
but it looks. I've seen the art. The artist, her name is Brett. I don't remember her last name, but just killer stuff. And so we're working with Max and Kyle to get it assembled into an actual little, like, a board game.
Hell yeah.
That's sick.
I'm sure Kyle will post it in the Discord.
Yeah.
If not, Kyle, you have to post it in the Discord.
Yeah. It's been really fun too, talking shop with Max and Kyle. Like, they're both just great minds and have a real good handle on what they want to do, and very creative. So this is some of the people that I get lucky enough to work with and talk to. It's been a pleasure.
What's the game's name one more time?
Rumpus.
No, but the Crowley game.
Abyss of Hallucinations.
So cool.
It's a Merkborg supplement.
Oh, nice.
You flipped through the first volume at my
Yeah, I was
house
gonna
the other day.
say.
The pink cover.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
totally.
Max like screen printed all those.
They're fucking beautiful.
Yeah, no,
very
that's
nice.
it's really cool. Can they see? So this is up on Kickstarter. Is what you're saying?
It's already funded, and
Oh,
it's going to be
sweet.
fulfilling as soon as I finish this
Oh,
last
yes.
critter, and then it goes right to print. Like we're already doing like pre-press, like running it through to make sure that everything's good, and like there's just a few blank spots I need to jump in there and drop my art in. But then then it's good to go. So if anybody backed that and is waiting on it, I apologize personally because I don't want Max to take any flack for it being a little late. It's totally my fault.
Send all hate to @Blood Transfusion.
yeah.
Blood,
that's-
blood transfusion. And then Swiver's finally shipping. So that's another one that I've been working on with Nelsonia and Luke Gearing, doing the artwork there. So that's final. I got a notice that my contributor copies are on the way. So I'm excited to see that one finally done. That like ate up a good chunk of my life. Kind of hit like some blocks, like some artist blocks. So
Interesting.
while working on it, it's tough.
Do you have I mean, this is kind of just not super related. Do you have like a favorite, like, sort of subject matter when you're like, when you have projects that you are working on? I guess you kind of just take the projects that you get, but
It changes. Like, so I've always been really stubborn, and I only eat, like, I would be living off of tuna fish and peanut butter, and like I would take jobs that I wanted to take and not do just any damn thing.
Yeah.
And I was that persistence kind of, I think, got me to the point where more cool work was coming, because I was taking I was taking the things that I wanted to do, putting more effort into it, and then more like-minded people see it, and then then they want work. So as far as subject matters goes, anything where they people step off and let me do what I want to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the artist's dream.
Yeah. That's the main thing. But I mean, I do like working with people too, because you do get it may be annoying sometimes, but you usually get better work when you're collaborating or getting input from people.
Yeah,
So that's
of
like it's a balance.
Yeah.
Figurative work is always great. I hate drawing cars and buildings.
Yeah.
There are buildings and Swivers, which I kind of forced myself to do. It's like an urban setting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Lankmar, like very British
You
fantasy.
prefer drawing organic stuff?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
dude, like I'll put something in a cave, or like some gloopy body horror thing, or like
that.
if I draw a skeleton, like just make up the bones. You don't need to like know what the
anatomy.
Yeah. Who cares? Like
most of your work has so much motion to it that it always. I don't think you can get that with like a building or something. You know, like I feel like everything that you have is very flowy. Like everything that comes to my mind immediately, like the poster I grabbed, that is like is it the wizard?
The OSC one, the enchanter? Yeah.
The hair is flowing out. There's so much motion in that. The poster we were just looking at from Terry that had like the wind blowing. There's always so much of those.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get with a building or something.
But you can. I'm just not good enough. Like,
like
people that do, like, especially we're talking to Steve about like Otomo doing Akira, like those. A lot of
every building is moving.
Every building is exploding. It's like got a lot of like, especially manga. 'Cause, like I think about it, it comes in when you got that motion. You know, you can like add curvature and stuff, even though a building is straight.
Yeah, straight,
you do stuff with perspective to give it like dramatic angles and motions and stuff. It's just something that it's always been intimidating to me. Especially vehicles and stuff. So like, I don't know, at some point I would like to get and like challenge myself. But then when I challenge myself, I get into a situation like with Swivers where like I set it up, like there's no gray. Gray is done by millions of little lines. And I know very, very few lines actually intersect. So there's not actually cross hatching in that either.
Yeah.
So like I kind of like set this style guide for myself that ended up being like, it worked for like the first one. And then as I was expanding the project, it got harder and harder because I didn't want to draw the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, all right, like it's an urban setting. So I got to do these buildings. Like, oh shit. Like now they got to do these buildings.
Oh man.
But I think the pieces that are in it, I think are some of my strongest work. So,
well, that's cool. So like the challenge ends up being worthwhile at the end.
It does, but it's like, I get real like crabby when I work. I get real angry. I get real like I'm like a real shithead when I'm in the zone, and that's not very cool. But
I forgive you for all those messages you sent me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
We had talked way back because you were at Nemo 1.
Nemo 1.
And you were on the pod.
Yes, briefly.
And I remember I was punishing you with questions about being like, when did you start drawing? I think, right? And it was like you had started drawing in high school, you were saying?
No, like I grew up like just drawing and stuff. But I did I went to a magnet high school that had a art program. So like they had like a portfolio class for like junior and senior year. Where there's cool. Like some sculpting and stuff. It was really nice. Yeah, you'd actually go to school for half the day and then do like your like magnet school focus for the second half. Yeah. So we had like there's like dance, there was theater, there was art, and I'm trying to think of the other one, music. Like there was like like not just orchestra, but there's like kind of like a rock band focused like stuff.
You go to rock and roll high school.
Rock.
Wow, that's cool.
High school. Yeah, no, it was nice. And then after that, I went to an art college where I was going to originally go fine art, but I ended up going illustration.
Yeah,
and I didn't take advantage of it. Like I was a bad student.
Well,
like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
you're a college student.
Yeah, but now if I went back, like. Now I'm staying up late, like watching YouTube videos on graphic design and stuff, because a big part of my job is now like looking at layout and like I want to get more into it and do more layout. And my chops in that area are all very self-taught. So now I'm going back and trying to like do it like the proper way and the proper terminology and all that stuff, so that I'm more on top of it. But that's been sort of a big thing lately, is going back and learning more layout, more typography, more of that stuff.
Well, they send you to school when your brain's not fully developed. You know what I mean? Your prefrontal cortex.
Dude, Halo 2 came out when I was like,
dude, how are you
like,
supposed to?
No, you can't. Like Street Fighter 3 and Halo 2. Like what the? What?
Steve would be president if it wasn't for
I didn't stand a chance.
I would be unstoppable.
I remember
skipped school to go play Halo.
I remember going to my rich friend's house he had like a big TV and his Xbox, and then he had a huge like this thing weighed like 150-pound TV up in his bedroom, and we would go and we would like balance this thing and pull it downstairs, and we put it on three kitchen chairs, like facing each other, like two facing each other, and then one in the back. And we linked the two Xboxes together so we could do 4-on-4 Halo 2. And when that shit came out, I left the house and I was hearing like the overshields, like the noise, and like, it's like walking to my car and like trying to like bob, like, making sure my head wasn't being shut.
You're so in it,
dude. Yeah. It was like it messes with you, rewires you.
Yeah, Steve's our resident Halo expert.
I'm actually replaying all the Halo 3, all the Halos.
You were just say retired.
No, I'm not.
actually
I'm
retired.
2 things. I am about to beat Halo 3. I've been playing all the Halos in chronological order. Reach is the best story of any Halo game.
There's a story to Halo?
Yes. Truthfully, Halo Reach is so cool. It's so cool. I won't tell anyone, but those that listen and have played Halo also will agree with me.
People.
I've never played a Halo game.
That's well,
I didn't have Xbox.
I'm multiplayer only.
I
don't.
Well,
mess
you
with any of
guys
the
are
campaign
nerds. But about
isn't
multiplayer,
Halo just like an allegory for
No.
War on Terror or some shit?
actually, yeah.
Are you just realizing it as I said that?
No.
I saw the light bulb.
Yeah. Oh,
My buddy Eric is in Las Vegas right now for the last Halo tournament, the last Halo 2.
last
It's like
one?
MLG, like legit MLG.
Nah, really?
Yes. He's there right now. It's this weekend.
Halo 2, like
Halo 2.
like when we were kids.
Yes.
How many CRTs were there?
I'm sure I could text him and ask. He was supposed to play in it, and he played a lot of he's playing with like Walshy and like all the OG MLG Halo.
I think
pros.
our Instagram conversations are literally just fire emojis and Halo memes back and forth for the last 11 months.
So he's playing with all the old pros just in like matchmaking custom games because all these people are still playing, especially for prepping for the last MLG tournament. And Eric wasn't playing as much because he still like skateboards and like does a bunch of other stuff. So he got kicked off his pro team, even though he was like, Eric is notoriously very good at Halo. He got kicked off the team because he didn't take it serious enough.
Dude, you're off the Halo 2
But
pro team.
he had a
for
2024
skateboarding too much.
Kicked off the Halo 2 pro team for skateboarding too much. A sick life.
in his 30s.
Who drank all the Mountain Dew?
But he had already got his ticket, and another team was like, "Oh, we'll like be our coach or whatever. Like, just come and still play." So he still went, and honestly, it looks awesome.
Oh man,
yeah,
I hope he
rocks.
subs in and gets to play like his
Right?
old team.
Smoke someone.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
story.
Redemption arc.
That's the redemption arc. Yeah,
That is cool. Dude, Eric X. Now, what's the deal with CRTs? Why do people use them to play? Is the flicker rate or something like that?
It's the refresh rate, technically.
Run me through
yeah,
that.
the flicker rate.
Yeah. For a CRT.
Yeah.
On a AV.
ticker rate.
The ticker rate on an AV cord is better on a CRT.
What, like the amount of information that gets processed through the cord is quicker? Is that what you mean?
believe
Kind
so,
of
yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically through AVs. HDMI on a CRT is getting downscaled.
So it makes it worse.
Now, what about if you went a AV cable into flat screen?
Your flat screen has to have the AV cable.
And if it
like
does,
the
I
one
think
that
it
you
has
have.
an
That's crazy thing about
upscaler
like
in it.
All of mine have the
needing
AV
like
cables.
that frame rate to play the game the best. I can't imagine my brain processing information fast enough for that to even matter.
What's the
That's why
refresh
you're not
rate?
a
They
pro.
say you can't
That's true.
even register it. but
Technically, well, like frames per second, I don't think your eyes can see past 60 or 30.
Yeah,
But like
something
monitors
that.
are up to like 300 hertz
I hate
now
when
for-
some nerd is like,
Yeah.
I can tell the difference. Like,
There's like people like frame counting in Street Fighter, like
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
bro, your eyes don't move that fast.
It's like a very specific thing that like people will say, but it's like, I don't know.
Does it make a difference, you think?
To the pros.
I don't. I still don't really
sculpted minds.
understand.
Yeah.
So if it's, I don't even know.
It's
I don't
nostalgia.
know. Like that's
Like
some crazy
it's,
shit.
yeah. It's.
Is it just because that's why I feel it's just nostalgia.
I mean,
right?
you want to play on like a slick Samsung, or you want to play on that thing? Like,
Yeah.
Why do you
depends
still have a
what game I'm
CRT in
playing.
your studio?
I know. I mean, dude, true. Straight up, like I was setting it up and I put up the flat screen there and I was like, well, I mean, this is more usable and makes more sense and I can hook my computer up to it. but it's not the fucking CRT with the fucking rabbit ears. You know what I mean? It's just there's something about it. So yeah, I get it. I get that. Covered in stickers, it looks cool.
You gotta get the OG PlayStation hooked up with it.
Yeah, it's down there. I brought it here.
Well, now you take it home. Play Sergeant's Heroes at your house.
Yeah.
With our 7 Army Men games.
Yeah. Those are all my childhood Army Men games. Did you guys not like those Army Men games?
No,
I
love
played
them.
the fuck out.
I
of them.
liked them.
yeah.
When we played them,
Heroes.
the second controller doesn't work.
Yeah, well,
So-
you're dealing with a original PS1 there from Sarah's basement or something. Just all musted up.
Shout out to friend of the pod, Sarah.
Now, should we
The
go...
CD player UI on the PlayStation 1.
Oh,
Can we
yeah,
talk about
dude.
that
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick? When you
The
was
Xbox
that?
one was also very sick.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? What do you mean?
When you use the PlayStation as a CD player to play music.
Had
It works
whole,
like
I never
dude,
did that.
yeah,
It rocked.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I'll
got
go get a CD right now. We'll go listen to this for the rest of the
on there,
episode.
Does it have like a little... Does it have
Visualizer?
anything?
Yeah,
visualizer?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, it's the
I don't remember if it had a visualizer.
Well, the
I just remember
Xbox did.
I just remember the UI was very like Winampy,
Yep.
very cool.
What? That's really sick.
Yeah. There was a game. I'm trying to remember the game. It was kind of like a Monster Ranchy.
I think it is
Game
Monster Rancher.
where you
it
put the
takes
game, the music CD, like you load so you put the CD in and you load the game up, right? And then as you're playing, if you put in a music CD, it gives you a monster based on like the
That
CD.
might be Monster
No,
Rancher
it is.
because what
It is Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher would take the save data from different games
Monster Ranchy.
to give you. Yeah, Monster
game,
Ranchy
Phil.
would give you.
Hidden Valley Monster Ranchy.
Yeah, Hidden Valley Monster Ranchy would give you different monsters depending on the save data of other games that were on your memory card or whatever.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah,
as far as I know. Like certain monsters, that would be the only way you could get
Xbox
them.
one.
that's awesome.
Yeah, is if you had like save.
So what would the
data
monsters
from
be like? Just some
GoldenEye.
like crazy shit,
It's like
or
a,
would
it's like a
I mean, it was anime shit.
it was like
Monster
it was like
Rancher.
an eyeball with like bat wings or something, like a
Yeah.
little cartoony, like little guy. Just a
Do you think it was
guy.
running information from your CD and actually doing anything, or it would just generate like a random thing? 'Cause
It
was
would-
like,
no, no,
There were
feel
specific
it wouldn't be-
monsters
it wouldn't
that
be
would
random.
specific monsters would correspond to the save files from specific games. So like I said, if you're playing Monster Ranch and you have a save file from say like GoldenEye, that would be the only way to get a specific monster.
No
GoldenEye
shit.
was Nintendo 64, buddy.
Yeah.
But I'm
Wow.
Yeah, don't listen to anything he says. He doesn't actually know.
Wow.
Regardless
Sorry.
of
I'll
his,
listen.
his fuck up there, that is how it worked. It had
So-
random seeds. So, like that number generated from it
Whoa,
would be
But
a
like,
thing.
but the
cool.
CD, like I mean, it's been such a long time, but I seem to definitely recall like if you put the same CD in, you always got the same monster off of the. So like if you put
Oh,
in
okay,
like,
okay.
like
Put in
I
your
don't know,
corn CD.
yeah, your corn CD or
Yeah.
like if Rage Against the Machine or whatever, like you always got the same one. I want to say
Okay, no matter what the CD or CD specific.
no, like so if you put in like Rage Against the Machine or Korn or whatever, if you put in like that Rage Against the Machine Evil Empire, or that's the album with the guy with the
Yes.
cape. Yeah, so you put that in, it was that you get a monster based off that. And it wasn't like a unique monster.
It wasn't a Rage Against the Machine themed
yeah,
monster.
it wasn't like unique, but it would be like the bat, like the eyeball with the bat wings or whatever. But then if you took the game and put it on your PlayStation and did the same thing, you'd get the same monster, I want to say.
Oh, cool.
we were
though.
trading CDs in school for that. All the
Really
time.
for your
Yeah.
Monster Ranchy monsters?
I was not a Monster ranchier.
Yeah.
Monster Ranch here.
But a friend of the pod, Levi, was a
Big
That
time.
makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
big-
Big monster head.
big
Warhammer head,
ranchier
now.
head.
Did that
Yeah.
come Did Monster Ranchy come before Pokemon or after?
Ooh, good question.
Gotta be after.
Gotta be after.
Yeah.
After Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, I was looking at like the original zines that Pokemon guy did. Have you seen those?
No.
They're fucking rad. Yeah, it's like he started making like his own little video game, like Nintendo Powers or something. Like they were like his little
So-
You're not
You're not talking about Pokemon Power, are you?
it's
Because Pokemon Power was an insert in Nintendo Power that
no,
you could like
these
rip
are like
out and it was
photocopy zines
Oh,
that the
okay.
guy who did Pokemon
shit.
and he was selling them like out of his parents' house. He would,
like
people would-
before the game came
before
out.
That's so
Pokemon,
sick.
like predates Pokemon, but it has his art and his drawings. And
He's the
stuff
art
in it.
and the lore of my world.
Yeah, like,
That's cool.
But
that is neat.
I mean, I don't know if it was like Pokemon lore because he did games before that. That sort of like evolved
This
the
is the
concept.
manga guy, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's the guy who like came up with it. Yeah, the artist guy. But they're these cool zines, and they're like so expensive. I found some scans. There's some scans on like archive.org, but it's a lot of stuff like game tips for like other games at the time.
Right.
But it's just photocopy, like color cover.
The idea of GamePro being a zine, or like
I love
Cheat
GamePro.
Code Central or
Yeah,
GameFAQs
yeah.
just being a print zine. That's so cool.
Dude, it's the best. Super producer Gage, were you looking up?
I was, but it brought up a bunch of like fan.
I guess
content
it's true.
that-
You're gonna just weed through all
Yeah.
this. Boo. Yeah, but in 2024, making your Pokemon zine is pretty neat.
2024 Pokemon zine.
Yeah. Just doing like a black and white photocopy, like hand drawn,
Made
like
up
you're trying to
Pokemon.
draw a Pikachu.
It's
like that.
Not even made up Pokemon, just the
Pikachu
original.
from memory.
Yeah,
The Garfield from memory.
Oh, dude, could I draw Pikachu from memory right now?
yeah, probably. I bet, dude. I bet. All right, Steve's gonna get.
Ask
Do I
our
have a pen?
assistant, Dark
Yeah, I
Tiger.
got-
Assistant
No,
Dark
I got-
Tyler,
I
could
got-
I have a pen? I need a pen.
pen and
Oh,
paper.
pen and paper.
Never mind. Thank you, assistant.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
Tyler. Tyler has been relocated
Thank you,
to
Tyler.
just drawing it with a fist too.
side?
Is this how you draw?
Draw on the cover.
I'm draw-
You
oh,
draw on
wait,
the cover.
is
No,
this
no,
the
no. Go in. Go on the cover there.
No, he needs cover art.
All right.
Yeah. You're just.
This is such a good medium for an audio only
Yeah.
podcast.
So Steve's drawing the ears to start with, and then he goes down to the chin.
I don't really remember how Pikachu looks.
He doesn't.
Oh, I
remember
thought
how
you were drawing
Pikachu
Garfield. You say, "Wow, you're really off."
Garfield's
Does
fucked up.
Pikachu have a nose?
Yeah, dude.
I guess.
Are we all going to do our
That's
own
pretty good.
approximation of Pikachu?
We could do that.
This is a cat in a burrito.
He's got a little snuggie. He's got boobs.
Yeah, he's
Those
got
are his little hands.
he's got nice boobs.
Great boobs.
This is awesome. Yeah,
Did
this is great content.
Were you guys all Pokemon heads though as kids?
Oh,
I think
was.
everyone had a phase.
I didn't. I was.
You were never.
I think
too
I'm.
cool.
I think I'm a little older than you all.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
like it came in just a little, and I never had a Game Boy either. Like I didn't grow up
Oh,
with Game
okay.
Boy, so like that's where a lot of kids got the start. And then when the card game came out, I think like I was deep into like Magic Ice Aged or something.
Yeah.
probably about that time.
That sounds about right.
That's a nice male Pikachu.
So I
You didn't draw the heart on the tail, so it's not female.
Is there a heart?
So, yeah, I
That's
kinda
some
missed it.
later in the fucking
missed
game
it.
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, I thought you had to draw the penis.
I was going to because you said
the male. But yeah, that's interesting. You know, like Pokemon was such a weird, eye-opening thing for me because I didn't remember seeing it on TV or anything. I didn't know it existed, and I just remember some kid at school. I didn't know what a Game Boy was, and then just some kid was showing
freak
me
are
this
you?
like I don't know, like where
I mean,
you
I
would
knew what it
find
was.
out.
I just couldn't afford one. I didn't have one.
I don't know. I definitely didn't know what it was. I remember just some kid showing me this little piece of equipment that had these things on. And I was like, you could just play this thing.
Pokemon?
It just had
like,
video game on it.
I like never played video games, I guess, before that.
That's such a crazy introduction to not just Pokemon, but the idea of like a video game.
yeah,
or
it was just
handheld
some
games.
kid on the playground. And then I remember like obviously
you
being
didn't
like,
see
I
an
want one
Atari
so
or,
bad.
or Nintendo or
No.
anything like that before
No.
Game Boy. Really?
My
Literally no.
introduction
So weird.
to Pokemon was literally through Nintendo Power Magazine because we were a Super Nintendo household.
Oh man.
So obviously
crazy.
they just, they were advertising the game in there.
Yeah,
That's
never.
what
I didn't even have
never
a
had any
Super
video
Nintendo
games.
until I was much older. I got a Genesis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just Pokemon cards at school. Like kids had them, and I was like, "These are so sick." And then going to a place in Chicopee that like had comics and cards, and I got one of the manga with like a pack of cards. And
Oh,
that
cool.
started
That's
me down
cool.
the path. And then we had a drive to Florida.
Oh,
to
boy.
Orlando, Florida, and I remember we had a Game Boy, and my mom got me Pokemon, so I would sit and behave for the whole drive.
Did it work?
I
No.
did. I probably didn't make a sound. I probably sat there.
Just
the only
zoned
thing I
in,
would say
just
is
dialed
probably
in.
I need batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many batteries.
Yeah,
Yeah, pull over and buy batteries.
we need batteries right now.
I do remember when I got a Game Boy that I was just like hooked on it. Like after that, just begging my mom to be like, "There's this weird box thing that you could play games on."
Did y'all
And-
have like the light and the magnifying glass, like all the like the
Oh,
hookups
yeah.
to
Still
it?
do.
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
I didn't. I had the little pocket, and that's all I had. And we would play like we would try and turn on the lights in the car, and of course, like your dad is like,
It's illegal. It's illegal.
You'll die.
"The reflection." Yeah, so it was always that you couldn't play at night.
I remember we had in my grandma's van at all times there was a Game Gear.
That
Like
fucking
she got
rules.
us. She got it for us.
Yeah.
So we had like Sonic, the Terminator game, and a couple other random ones, and it was awesome. But I was so bad at it.
Thinking about playing on a non-backlit screen is fucking insane.
Right? Just like having to play under a light so you could see what the hell's going
it's
on.
all the guys with glasses. That's like,
Yeah.
look at Terry.
Yeah.
It's because of the Game Boy, man.
It was too much squinting at it.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
That's the Game Gear having a screen that big,
Yeah.
full color and lit, but it was this
that-
big
so
with
big.
like 8 batteries.
this thick.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was huge. Yeah.
That thing rocks. My mom still has it. Every time I go and see her, she's like, "I have that Game Gear if you want it." I was like, "No, I don't want it.
We have one
don't want it."
at the house. We need to like see if it works, I think. But
The Game Gear?
the Game Gear, and I think it's my partner. It's hers, and I think that she actually has like the carrying case, and I think it has a magnifying. Like she's got like the setup with it. Yeah,
That's
I think,
sick.
and I know we've got Sonic like 2, and then we've got the Cool Spot game. I think for it. You remember the 7-Up spot?
No.
So they made like the 7-Up spot used to have like shades, like it was like a mascot, right? But they made video game like with him, and he like flicks like soda like fizz at you.
Oh, he's like a cool guy.
Yeah, he's like a cool
Just
guy.
like flicking things. Get out of here.
Yeah.
With
Am I the only
sunglasses
one
on.
doing this? Am I
Yeah.
the only one that did this?
That drew the
did
Pokemon?
Pikachu from
You
memory.
perfected it. There's
Yeah.
no.
And signed it
I did
on
sign
the
it.
cover.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's that
It's
cover
beautiful.
of?
Are you
That's a
drawing it?
Pikachu.
Of Terry's notebook? Is that what that's a cover of?
Yeah.
His doodle
Pikachu.
book.
My
Yeah, it's
doodle
his doodle book
It's a
that
brand
he
new
carries.
one. I started a new one today. I finally
Sorry.
I finished it. No, dude, it's fine. They're meant to be. So I just make these out of garbage paper in my classroom when it's just like leftover shit.
Nice.
Because sketchbooks are like those weird things to me where I get it and then I'm like, either if I don't have it on me right now, I'm not going to go get the sketchbook to draw in. And I also am kind of too precious about sketchbooks. So these are just made out of like recycling paper.
Yeah.
And then I can just like draw whatever I want on them.
I had some buddies that like their sketchbooks were total works of art, and it made me self-conscious about my sketchbooks, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So if I had a garbage page, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look good, but it's not supposed to look good. It's
I
a sketchbook.
ruined it.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy Bryce, he's the other guy that zine that I just gave you, Terry, that I did the split with him.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
one of
yeah.
them. Yeah,
The
Bryce.
red and blue one?
Yeah, the red and blue one. Bryce Weimer, hell of an artist, but all of his sketchbooks were like, he painted them. They were like just beautiful fucking things, and super jealous.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you see people's sketchbook or it's like there's
But everyone is a banger. Every page, like,
and you're like, it's really good, and they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
This is my sketchbook.
I do that with RPG journals.
I do the same thing, and I end up
Every
ripping
campaign,
out pages,
yep.
and it's like, oh, there's 12 pages left of this 200-page
Yeah, this
notebook.
is my traveler book, okay, and this is my other traveler book because it's a different campaign, and it just
mine get like unusable because everything goes out of order and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah,
I work
yeah.
always in pen and stuff, and
Right.
like you'll have notes for something on one page, then you go to the next page, and like then everything gets all fucked up.
Yeah.
Pen
Like,
supremacy.
Yeah.
Non-pencil household.
Yeah.
Everything's in pen.
Did I do? What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, are you guys highlighter heads in your notebooks?
Highlighter heads.
I'll highlight like if I have one. It's not like a tool like
Dude,
keep
I
in
saw.
my desk though.
I think it's Dungeons Foul on Instagram. They run like a
Dungeons foul, like dungeon chicken, or like dungeons like
What is-
FOUL.
What is Dungeon Chicken?
Well, like foul, like FOWL.
Hello, Pika.
I'm trying to get some Dungeon Chicken.
Oh yeah, baby, get that dungeon foul.
Look at that dungeon foul.
No, Dungeon. Like smells bad foul, like evil foul.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
Well, it's just like a fucking meme, like repost account. But the person who runs it also does like beautiful journal work for their RPG shit. And they started highlighting in their journals and posting it. And I was like, oh, dude, I need a highlighter now.
Yeah.
So
Highlighter tool.
There was
You
some
know?
really sick. Was it Dungeon 23 or whatever when people were doing
Yes,
like
the mega dungeons.
the mega dungeons,
Yeah.
and they were using those like Hobonichi like notebooks. And
fuck
with
is
those
that?
the grids, it's like a Japanese
Calendar notebooky
notebooky thing. Yeah,
That
but
still makes no
I
sense.
used the grid notebooks for a long time because I liked making dungeons.
Yeah.
in my
well,
spare
this
time.
has like gridded pages in it, right? And but it's because it's supposed to be, is it like a room a day or something?
Yes, yeah.
So like because it's a room a day, it works that it's like a calendar thing. But people like doing sick stuff with the covers. I think tomorrow at ArcaneCon.
shout out.
Sam Amelli will be there. Better Legends, hell of an artist, one of my favorite RPG artists, will be there, and I think he had a really cool one. I don't know if he finished it.
I would say, is he publishing it?
I
Someone's publishing one
I don't know if he is. Maybe
that I just saw, and I was
don't know
like,
if
that's
he-
actually a sick idea.
I don't know if he finished it, but he had some really cool pages. For
Yeah.
sure.
the
Like,
365 dungeon a day.
Similar, yeah,
Dungeon
similar
room a
concept.
day?
Yeah.
and it's like they don't need to be, like not every room has to be.
They can't all
important.
be bangers.
Yeah, they like you got to have your empty rooms. You got to have your
hallways.
hallways,
Or like
yeah.
if you plan it for a
I don't
week,
know.
this is a busy week, so this is
Yeah.
going to be the big tree room, and I'm just going to draw a tree today.
Well, a lot of people do like plan out a floor, right?
Yeah.
And kind of do like every week, so you'd have like 52 floors.
What the fuck?
That's cool.
So it comes in like a calendar pad. That's what you're saying, with gridded out. And
Yeah,
then-
it's like a tall portrait.
I gotta look this thing up. This sounds crazy.
They're nice. They're really nice.
we should do it for 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our thing
That'd be
for
cool.
2025.
I bought one to do 2023, and I didn't write a single fucking thing in it.
Same. It sat on top of all my RPG books, and I never touched it.
I didn't touch it. Yeah.
Now,
How would you do it though? Is it like you just draw?
Yeah.
Like, are you drawing it like top down view, or is it
yeah.
like I draw a little illustration of it?
Not everybody's like doing the art for it. Like a lot of people were just like writing it out. Like
Oh,
so, but it had gridded paper. Like I think it had like a week or something. I don't know. You can look it up. Like and see
What is this called?
see the layout.
Dungeon
of them.
23. Hashtag Dungeon 23.
Dungeon 23. I thought you were talking about like issue 23 of Dungeon
I
magazine.
think it was 2023.
yeah.
Was
Oh,
and
okay,
that's why
okay.
they called it Dungeon, because it was supposed to be the whole year of
My
2023.
phone is not connected to the internet.
Oh yeah.
Turn the
yeah.
Wi-Fi off.
Sean McCoy, I think,
is off.
did a good chunk of one too from Mothership.
What was it? Sean McCoy.
Sean McCoy, the author of Mothership.
Yeah.
Like he was a big proponent of it. He may have started it.
I think he did start it.
I don't want to like.
Was he doing like a sci-fi one?
No,
for this?
I don't remember. I think he was just doing like, it might have been fantasy.
This
even with
sounds
him.
so neat. This sounds so
This is very up
so
your
cool.
alley.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love little daily stuff.
It was
man.
cool.
It's my
Like
favorite.
it really took off for that year. And of course, people fell off, but the whole thing was awesome. Like he was very supportive of it, and other people, it's like, hey, it's fine if you don't finish it. Like just do what you can and do it when you can. And a lot of people came up with some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Now the idea of a mega dungeon. What is that? Just like huge dungeon?
Oh yeah,
Giant dungeon.
Mega.
What are we talking about? Mega. How mega is mega?
Well,
52 floors.
what's the tome one? The big book.
Tome.
I have that in my at home.
the D&D one.
Yeah, it's like the huge black cover. Is that the one that? You,
No. The one I have is
Oh, that's Rappa, the frog god one.
yeah.
Raketh Khan.
PaRappa the Rappa?
Yeah. Paul.
Ooh, I love that guy.
PaRappa the Rappa the Mega Dungeon.
And Jammer Lammy.
Yeah, dude. That's Danny's shit.
Dude,
Yeah?
Jammer Lammy was good.
Is that shit like rhythm games? I never
Yes.
played
Yeah.
PaRappa the
Yeah.
Rappa. I think rhythm games are cool,
PlayStation.
dude.
But it's like a slice of life for this little dog guy that you're going through his day of life.
I think you just got to dance. It's like
And then like you have the
take a
onion
piss
master
on
who's
the-
like teaching you how to drive. Like you're going to get your license.
the dog is?
Yes.
Hop in,
And
dog.
an
It's
onion
time to
man,
get your
an
license.
onion karate teacher is
Yes.
teaching him how to drive.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
a
he just
karate
like came
instructor.
and picked them
Yeah,
up.
or like-
Dude, this is great.
Chop.
Oh, then you're just pressing buttons.
Kick,
and
kick chop.
Yeah. Punch, buck, kick.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind.
That's amazing.
It's so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
So this is the second PaRappa the Rappa?
So the first one is PaRappa the Rapper, which is the dog guy. Right?
Oh, okay.
And then the second one is Jammer Lammy, where it's like it's a girl and she's like in an indie rock band, and she's like a little lamb, like
What?
like she.
Dude, actually,
This
the guy
is
who
so
drew
cool.
it has a shop in the Cape, I think.
What?
It's open.
Yeah.
It's open like 2 days a month, and he has like a sick noise project.
Really?
I played it for you before. It's like real minimalist, like bam, 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 and it'll just like loop for like.
So it's a song in PaRappa the Rappa.
Yes, like dude, like that is his personality. He sells
makes
shit.
sense.
Like,
Have you
lot
seen
of
what it
sense.
looks like? Have you seen the art?
No, never.
Isn't it all like flat?
He's like a
2D
real
that's
Joey
animated,
Royale type.
Gage.
yes, yeah, it is.
And
all,
so
yeah.
like they get all bendy and weird.
Oh, so it's kind of like weird foldy guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Flat
That's
Stanley
awesome.
guys.
yeah.
That's neat.
Hell yeah.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at him go with his little freaking mixer there.
mix the flour into the bowl,
Dude.
Dude, I gotta find this artist because
Oh, we got all these
That's a cool
Pokemon. Do you want to draw a Pokemon, DH?
Yeah.
No pressure. You're the resident artist, though, so
I
you
can't-
know
I
what I
don't know
mean?
if I can beat this one.
Rodney
Yeah.
Pills is
Greenblat.
pretty good.
Rodney Greenblat.
Yep, Rodney
Greenblat.
Greenblat has a store. He's part of the neo-surrealist movement. It's in the Cape.
Too many Pokemon. Which
I gotta look this up.
Which one?
Really,
Which
I
one
don't
is this?
It's,
Which one's this?
his noise stuff is awesome.
Dude, I gotta look it up. What was it again?
Rodney Greenblat.
PaRappa the Rappa.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Rappa.
yeah, baby. Now, Hoskins, just because this is near and dear to my heart right now, what's your studio setup looking like? Where do you work out of?
It's like a pile of trash.
yeah. So, is that-
Like
You know what
I'm
I
not
mean?
even joking. It's just like a pile of trash.
It's not because of a hurricane.
No, it's
No.
just the way I. It's the way I live.
I've seen
It's-
it.
It's like it's like that like Simpsons where he's like Lenny's like it's like don't tell people how I live. It's
Don't
like
tell people how I live. Yeah.
it's like that. It's like a little computer desk with like a Wacom tablet and an iMac and just piles of paper.
and
Just everywhere, like bills, scrap paper with
man, just
doodles,
everything.
like notes from work, RPG books, like just piles of shit. Like
Oh,
So I got a question about the tablet.
Yeah,
So I had a Wacom tablet.
This is a tech question.
Kind of. So
No,
I used
go
to have
off.
one, but it was a tablet.
Are we gonna
It didn't
Geek
have a
Squad
screen
this?
though. So drawing on the tablet and looking at the screen.
that's the way I work.
I always found that there was too much of a disconnect between drawing
You get
down
used
on
to
the
your
tablet
drivers.
and
You
seeing
get
the-
used to it.
well, it's probably like a flicker rate thing. Like you got to plug in to a CRT.
Are you using a CRT?
Yeah, that was probably the problem. I don't know what I did with it.
You get used to it, and now like if I'm a lot of my stuff I actually ink digitally. So like if so I work that way.
Yeah.
a lot of times. And now like if I'm doing
But you have no problem going back and forth drawing on pen
No,
and paper and then
no.
drawing on a
Now, when you
tablet
ink,
like that.
so you ink digitally
yeah.
and color digitally. You do everything digitally then, probably. Right?
Nowadays
Yeah.
more often than not. But even when I was like painting, I would do like I would do flat color with black line work on top. So I think like I was listening to the pod and Gage, you mentioned like the Bit Brigade guys.
Yes.
So like they had a band Double Ferrari.
Yeah, I would
Have
say
you
we
seen-
talked about
So
this.
like
Yeah.
that's an actual painting that I did, but it looks like a lot like my digital work, but that is a physical like
Yeah,
painting of
yeah.
like the horse falling apart.
Double Ferrari also rocks.
Yeah, very riff heavy. If you're into like the fucking Champs or like any of that like hero like guitar stuff, it's just fun.
If you want to be Scott Pilgrim, that's the
Oh,
music
all right.
you listen to.
Okay. So that's cool. I wasn't sure whether or not you were like a physical drawing, like pen and ink style, or if you use the tablet.
I bounce back and forth,
I'm
but
sure,
like
yeah.
lately for probably the past probably actually since I started RPG stuff, a lot of times like inking like just digitally with the Photoshop and the Wacom tablet.
How did you get involved in RPG stuff?
So
Especially to get to the point where you're working at Exalted Funeral.
Okay, let me think back here.
Way back in
yeah, so-
1996.
Well, like most of us like started playing RPGs in probably like middle school, like with the homie Garrett, like that you guys met at
yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, Garrett keeping it real. So middle school, high school, playing our tabletop RPGs, kind of fall out of it like most of us do, And then I've always been a comic book guy, so I was into like the Tumblr years of like underground comics. Just man, what a time! Like late 2000s, like early 2010s kind of stuff, and coming across Ben Mara. his artwork. And probably about 2014 or 15, he was posting art from a project called Intermediary Mund, which I just gave you a copy of because we published it. But it was his DCC sessions.
Right.
That he was running DCC for his buddies, and he was illustrating like scenes from it. And they just blew my mind. I loved them so much.
This is Ben Mara?
Ben Mara, yeah.
Ben Mara. I gotta look
Benjamin
it up.
Mara.
You can probably still find him.
Oh,
All these illustrations.
Oh yeah. Well, we actually I can never find a copy of the original zine because it was like super low run. He just did it, and so I wanted one, so I made us publish it. So
yes.
there's an expanded version that's actually has stats now and stuff for both DCC and OSC that we put out, and
cool.
It also had him like sort of write like the story of Intermediary Mund. And the writing is really good too. It's like super sparse. It's like the party went into the cave. There were the dog-faced humans in the cave. The dog-faced humans attacked the party. It's like the way
cool.
The way it reads is super gnarly. But anyway, I saw that work and I was like, "What the fuck is Dungeon Crawl Classics?" And
Terry's been asking that for
dude, I was
6
literally.
months.
I'm just gonna like.
so I was digging around for it, and it was out of print at the time. The Kickstarter for the 4th edition, I think it was, had wrapped, but it hadn't fulfilled yet, and everything like it was just sold out, which made me want it even more, right? So like, because I'm like comics and like records and stuff, like if it's out of print, like I can't get it. Why can't I get it? Like I want to hear it. I want to know what it is. So just scouring the internet, and I finally the soft covers finally came out, and I got the soft cover, and the artwork in there was just killer. It was all like Doug Kovacs and Peter Mullen and Stefan Pogue, and it turned out that Bob and Jen Brinkman, who currently or Jen works at Goodman, and Bob has written stuff for like Goodman as well, the 5e stuff that Goodman put out, and he's written for DCC Lankmar now and Mutant Crawl Classics. But they lived down in Naples, which is like an hour south of me, and it was Free RPG Day, and like through some sort of, I forget where I found it, probably Facebook or something, but I found that they were running games down in Naples. So I made the drive. I met them. They told me about GaryCon. I went to I just like, I'm going to do it. So I just went to GaryCon, and I brought some zines with me of Summoning Sickness, which was it was a zine of like illustrated folklore and like kind of like monster book kind of deal that I did. I think Max Moon actually did a reprint of it.
I was going to say
I have a copy of it.
Yeah. So I brought copies of that with me, and I just kind of handed them out. And then I met Jarrett Crater, who is, if you open up any RPG book, you'll probably see edited by Jarrett Crater or like something with Jarrett in it. But he hooked me up with Melsonia with Acid Death Fantasy with Luke Gearing. And I also, at that first GaryCon, met Jeff from Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. So I got some work from that. And then
that's an awesome looking game.
It's pretty cool. Like if you like AD&D, like it is probably the best version of AD&D out there. It's a retro clone, but it's got some good quality of life change, like updates to it.
There's a fly in here. I'm sorry.
Phil,
why
it's
haven't
Phil.
you grabbed it? Yeah.
Yeah, Phil.
Sorry guys. But yeah, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. And Exalted Funeral, I found them because I wanted copies of Mystic Punks, and I don't remember where I even heard of Mystic Punks, but at first that was not a choose your own adventure, but it was a solo RPG. And it was like the first solo RPG thing that I'd ever seen. And they were these risograph scenes that were very cool. And Exalted was the place that carried them. So I found them, started following them on Instagram, and Matt was doing a zine or magazine called Umbra.
Dude, it's so cool.
Umbra rules, and there's only one issue of it, and good luck finding one.
My copy's like the cover's half ripped on
Yeah.
it, but carrying it.
You got one though?
But they were accepting submissions, and so I just messaged them, say, hey, like I'll send some stuff over. That's fine. Ended up talking to Matt and from Exalted Funeral. Turns out we both lived in Orlando at the same time. We knew all the same people. We went to all the same shows. Like,
Oh, no
and it just
shit.
never like my roommate's girlfriend like worked at the same bar that he worked at, and just never never ran into him or like talked to him while we were
Yeah.
So it was just like 2 ships in the night. But yeah, and then I just got more work through there and was always the guy to help out when something came up.
Right.
Just don't be a dick, be cool and help out, and got a job.
And that's how most opportunities happen. Yeah.
Totally.
So that is very long-winded. But there it is.
No, that's cool. I mean, that's how you do it. Like you're saying, be a good guy. Like Phil. Thank you, Phil, for moving my car. You're the best. Anyways, Phil's out the door, so you guys are stuck with. Dark Tyler's here.
Yay.
Sorry about your seltzer.
Yeah, great.
Who's threw your seltzer? Why are you throwing?
I thought it was Phil's, and he left it here on the table.
Oh,
It's
so you're
trash.
throwing it at him.
After I visibly walked over with it in my hand,
Yeah.
and smiled at Steve.
It said, "Howdy doody, Steve."
Hi, Steve.
Howdy doody.
Oh, good to see you, sir. Fine day we're having, isn't it? And Steve says, "Give me that seltzer," and throws it across the room. Tyler, welcome to the pod.
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Tyler, are
for
you
talking
coming to
me.
ArcaneCon tomorrow?
I am. I'm excited to play some games. And
What games are you playing
Yeah,
tomorrow?
what games are you playing tomorrow?
I think I'm going to play some OPR, probably some more time too.
so no RPGs.
No RPGs
I know, so-
at
wow.
the OSR con.
Did you miss
Wow.
the signups?
It's like kind of not my thing. No,
Wow.
That's so not true.
I get I know. It's very much my thing.
David, cover your ears.
I'm so sorry. No, I obviously I love RPGs, but I just get a little intimidated. It was it was subconscious this time too, because I took a long time to get ready for sign up for the con, and then when I did, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to know these people.
Yeah, and you're afraid to do voices. You're not very good at doing voices.
I hate doing voices.
Playing with randoms is hard.
Yeah,
was
but
gonna
then
say,
I, but then
are
I
you
realized
There's so many nice people there.
Yeah, that's the
games,
thing.
though. Like
it's me. I'm just being a fucking idiot because I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you
actually, I'm either A, going to know the people already, or B, they're going to be like Brian's friends, so they're going to be cool as hell. So,
Totally. Who do you think's coming to this thing?
yeah, I might slip into a game.
Yes.
Listen,
Slip
I'll give you my
slip
spot in Weird Heroes ran by Joey Royale.
That does sound
dude,
really cool.
like Joey, you get a chance to plan a Joey game, like don't turn it down.
I'm in a I don't want to say handpicked because it wasn't handpicked, but it is a very awesome group of people playing in a game ran by Joey. And I'm very excited, but I have a busy day tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to play second session.
Joey's awesome. His game is
He's so off the cuff.
I've heard only
so
good
good.
things. Yeah.
it's Weird Heroes of Public Access.
You back it?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do you get the art piece?
I did. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. You got. I mean, just to support the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's out there. He's doing it. He's putting in the work.
And he's been doing it for so long too.
He's been doing it for so long. He's such a great personality. Like I've gotten to play in games with him, and he's helped us out. Like he did for our Funeral Mania thing, for our Summer Slam thing. He did like the announcer stuff for our
that's him.
marketing. Well, he used to be. I think he actually did that for like underground wrestling.
Oh my God, I'm
no,
so
yeah, right. No, like,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So jealous.
So he was like a real ring guy. Like
That's sick.
I know Huffa will be there running Between the Skies. That's a really cool game. I don't know. Flames of Orion will be there.
will be there.
Yeah, I heard that the creator's going to be there.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm kind of nervous.
I heard he's doing signed
him.
copies.
It's not true.
I don't know about that.
I heard he'll autograph my arm. Can you just write your name on my arm for an autograph?
You're doing an RPG. You're doing End Transmission 2?
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rise
of
I
Gru.
just rewrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't run it last time, so I was like, I'm running it. I'm gonna.
Yeah. I mean,
didn't
that's the
sign
beauty
up
of
for
it.
anything. I'm just like going to
Yeah,
chill.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I do.
I'm
That's every con is me just
Yeah.
sitting there going, dude, what's up?
I used
Terry the
to. I used to try to like sign up for things and like be on a schedule. It's like why would I do that? I'm on like vacation. I don't want to be on a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to do some pickup games, hang out with some
Well,
cool people.
You'll
Shoot
plenty
the
of
shit.
pickup games in the war room.
Hell yeah.
War room.
I'm
Terry,
welcome
are you,
to the war room.
Are you you're not a con guy, really.
A con guy? Are you kidding me, dude? I'm like the biggest con guy you ever freaking met, dude.
Yeah, you're
Are
a
you
con
kidding me?
man, dude.
Are you kidding me,
Con
dude? I'm
artist,
at
dude.
cons
Look at that face.
every
He's
weekend.
fucking con man written all over.
Dude, I'm at cons every weekend.
Whittling his
He's
mustache
conning
at me
you right now.
I'm at cons every single weekend.
Glass.
Have you ever signed up for a random game RPGs?
No.
No.
No, I'm not really a con guy.
Oh, okay.
I just conned you.
Yeah, you just conned me.
No, but no.
Is that your vibe? You think?
What's my vibe?
No, I'm asking.
Random RPGs?
Is that your vibe? Like, do you think you'd sit down and enjoy like a pug
I
session?
I will play with anybody.
Yeah.
And I will do full on voice. And I will be the loudest motherfucker at the table.
I mean,
Welcome
knowing you for 15 years, I know that. But
Yeah, totally. I have like a random question for everybody, and I'm just going to throw out a bunch of random stuff.
Throw it out.
very Terry mode right now.
Well, because we were talking yesterday, Gage, about you were like, well, I kind of want to like hack sort of Forbidden Psalms, so it's like 2, but you were like, I don't really know what system I want to be, but like 2 models you're running through, and maybe run it as like an RPG rather than.
Yeah, I want to run something at Adepticon again, but I want it a little more intimate than what we had.
Yeah.
So I want to make I really want to blend as much as I can the RPG side and the models side.
And then somebody in our just like brief talkings about in the group chat mentioned funneling DCC.
That was Steve. Yeah.
Is that at all? Are those 2 worlds similar? Like,
You play with models, but
Yeah, I think running a DCC funnel, which by the way, Steve and I's first ever funnel was
with Dave.
with Dave.
wow.
That was a real sleepy boy session.
It was a little late.
It was a sleepy session. It was online, which is the worst. But thank you. You opened the door.
Dude, the DCC funnel is so much fun. But that
Right.
could be cool, like if you because basically you get a stack of 0 levels, and whoever lives becomes like your level 1
Yeah.
character.
But if
So-
you ran that with models,
Models,
do you
yeah.
think it would hurt more if you're like losing models?
Maybe you need to do like 3, like maybe if you're doing a campaign play with like people, right? You do everybody plays each other, and like the last model standing on whatever side, whether you win or lose, becomes like your level 1. And so if you've got 4 people playing or whatever, then you end up with 4 models, and then that becomes your squad for some skirmish game.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good way of blending it too.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
So that
that's
could
an
be a-
interesting way.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? So the funnel, you come up with 4 level 0 characters,
They're
real
usually-
weakos.
They're like randomly like they're just they're totally random too. So like you could end up with like a halfling shoemaker, or like an elven like forester, or like a gong farmer, which is sort of their like thing. Like
Gong farmer?
yeah, it's like the person that cleans the shitholes. Like the
Oh,
medieval, like-
that's cool.
yeah, but like that's kind of their mascot. I don't want to say it's like their mascot, but it's kind of their mascot. Like
I'd say the frog god guy is the mascot.
bug bubbles,
Bubblers.
bug bubbles.
Is Mutant Crawl Classics kind of the sci-fi?
It's like Gamma World, yeah. It's like the Gamma World version.
I feel like I want to play Mutant Crawl Classics really bad because that sounds just like totally crazy.
It's like a mix. It's like that mixed with what's the one with like Metamorphosis Alpha? It's kind of got a bit of that. I think the setting might. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the setting more like Gamma World, or is it on like a spaceship like Metamorphosis Alpha?
I don't know.
I want to
either
say
of
it's
these
more
games.
Gamma World-esque.
I think it is. Yeah.
Gamma World's just some old RPG kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like like AD&D times, I think.
Okay, okay.
Metamorphosis Alpha predates AD&D, I believe. But that's cool. That's like that is a giant, humongous generational like starship that goes through some like Fantastic Four shit where like it gets wrecked, and all the people that are like cryo frozen on the generational the generation starship, they all get like mutated. And they wake up.
Cool.
That's awesome.
They wake up and like the ship's all fucked, but it's got like these, I don't know, like this holodeck kind of thing to it where like you don't know you're on a spaceship kind of deal.
Yeah.
So like but generations have like gone by, so people have like devolved.
Oh, cool.
Oh, this is literally the movie Pandorum.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that movie either. Man,
Yeah,
you guys
so
have
it's-
a lot of references I'm not familiar with.
I feel like
It's-
you're alien right now.
It basically, yeah,
Visiting Earth.
it's cool because like
Are you actually on a ship at the end?
like the whole thing is the whole thing on Metamorphosis Alpha is like you're on this ship, so like if you get out of like the if you get out of like the savannah, like the zone,
Yeah.
like you end up being on like another part of the spaceship,
Cool.
kind of deal. So like you're kind of like there are these habitats, right? That's kind of like what it is, because it's a starship that is supposed to be taking people to settle like new colonies, terraforming. So it has like these habitats in it, so that I don't know, I guess they could recreate the habitats on other planets, but because like the whole thing got fucked, like they're basically like cavemen and
That's so
shit,
sick.
mutant cavemen.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for a DM because you gotta like, you're looking at like the sound, like you come across a soundboard and you have to like describe this to Steve, like it's
Something he has no idea.
like
what
he
it
has
is.
no
Yeah.
idea what it is, right? So it's like, oh, there's this thing with like
love
these
this.
blinking gems on it, and like,
Because you're cavemen.
yeah, exactly. So like,
Yes.
There's like these like things that can be spun. You don't know sure what they are. and
Yeah.
you're just describing
Some of the
knobs.
rocks move.
It's like
yeah, right.
a cooler.
Don't detach.
It's like a cooler version of like the ancient technologies in Warhammer. You know what I mean?
yeah. The best thing is in games like that when somebody finally finds the gun,
Oh yeah.
and like you're trying to like describe it, like, but not tell them it's a gun.
It's like a banana,
man, yeah.
but it's made of hard material.
I put it in my mouth.
I'm gonna try eating it. So now, is there because D&D, you play one character, and I imagine a lot of RPGs you play one character. But are there RPGs you play multiple characters or like groups of people?
Well, I mean, DCC is one, and I mean like D&D. I mean, you think about like a lot of time, like in the early ones, like henchmen,
Yeah.
torchbearers, like that
This is
kind of
something
stuff.
Brian talks about all the
Really?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
In our D&D game, like we play OSE.
You have like
I
a
have
little.
henchmen. I have 20 guys that follow me around.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
dude,
Now-
you pay them to take the risk, so
Yeah.
your character lives. That's what
That's
you got.
sick.
You got the torch. The guy who goes in first with the torch to light the room. Like you're paying him. You're paying him a good
We got a
wage.
guy with a pole that's going around
Yeah.
checking the room. Like,
See, I feel like that's a cool way to then branch into. I haven't played D&D in a long time. I haven't played any RPG in a very long time. Besides just like little like one-offs. What are you gonna say?
50th episode's coming up.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Saying,
true.
Just saying.
Now I haven't played though an RPG in a very long time, and I think it would be cool to go back to playing an RPG with miniatures through the eyes that we have now of being like kit bashers and just like mad painters and kind of throwing terrain together really quickly and stuff. It would be cool to kind of go back and try and take something that's way more RPG heavy and do, fuck with models with it.
Well, I mean, we talk about it. It's like, I don't want to call it a revival because I still refuse to believe that we have any place in this, but like the Inc. 28 upsurge, I guess we'll say right now, like with Hondius, with Bro Pro, and
Just call it the Hive Scum effect.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
Come on. I'm not saying that. But boo, Vistarian next
Podcast
week.
stinks.
Y'all are stars.
I mean, but that's been going on forever.
It has been going on forever. I think it's just more outward facing now. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of shining a light on it for a lot, but like the Wires have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Just more accessible things to go to now, I think.
Right.
You know?
And I think the lines are getting more and more blurred.
I would just to lean. I would love to lean.
That's
so
what I'm saying. Yeah,
Heavy
I
into
think
RPGs.
like it's getting there, but yeah,
I mean, that's the whole idea with the
dream,
whole
yeah.
transmission thing was like, it's not just about fight. You're like, there's a mission. Your characters like should have representation, should have like some kind of background.
Yeah.
And to that effect, RPGs have always had like the zoom out effect that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, in transmission, we're playing in our mechs, and then we are playing in your skirmish game in the same game.
Yeah.
Whereas in an RPG, it's very easy to go, okay, I'm playing one character. Let's zoom out, and actually we're taking over the ship now in Traveler because we're just so Traveler pilled right now. But it's like,
hell yeah.
yeah. But it's like, oh, okay, Steve, you're the pilot, but you're not really like, yeah, you're still putting a little bit of Dallas in how he's piloting the ship, but it's not like you're not playing it in
Yeehaw.
that. Yeah. You're not playing it in like a character perspective. Now it's like, okay, Steve, if you crash the ship, you're actually killing the whole party, and it's that zoom out effect. So
I just think I need to lean in. You know how like things have like a memory, like you try and like bend something a certain way and it'll always kind of like go back to the position it was before, you know, unless you like push it way too far and then you can kind of get it to come back to like a middle ground. You overcompensate. I feel like I need to, no matter what, with like skirmish games and mini games, I'm still in the mindset of it being like, yeah, whatever, it's my dumb guys, freaking dumb guys going out here. It's like, it's hard even for me sometimes to get into the
Even
narrative
like a
gaming
Mordheim?
side of it. Yeah, I'm still like, in my head, I feel like I'm still just like playing with cool models on a cool board, doing cool things, but they're not like, this random guy has like rich lore.
because you haven't played in transmission or something like that.
Maybe that's true.
Maybe we need to have, because I've wanted to run like a real narrative thing with like my board, like the whole board.
Yes.
And I feel like that might be a good way to
Inquisitor
break that.
esque.
Yeah, some kind of Inquisitor-esque thing with like
I'd
20
be down with that, but I would only want like one or two models because that's what I really want.
NPCs and I think we don't play with GMs enough because I think that
And that
really
might help.
sells it. Because
That too is also like I feel like a lot in the Discord people are saying it more and more. It's like, yeah, there's 3 of us. It's so much easier to play a game if someone takes the GM role.
because you're still playing.
Yeah.
You can play NPCs. You can do
We'd
so
be
many.
playing Age of Sigmar and Phil would be a GM for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
And even that was like a totally different experience than just playing a regular Warhammer game.
Yeah. I mean, wanted reward 10,000 credits. Like,
Yes.
that is a perfect game to get the things that you're talking about.
You know about this
out of it.
game?
Is it Evans? Are we paying the tax?
No.
Oh, well, we got to pay the tax, so I appreciate that.
So you just did that. Thank you.
No problem.
We'll show you this game. This is Tanner Simpson's
Tanners,
game.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I have
Goobs,
seen
and
it.
Goobs
I have
and
seen it.
Goobins.
Eric.
Is that Goobin's real? I was like, I don't know what
His name's
Goobin's real name is.
His government is Goobins.
Goobins.
Yeah, I'm Goobins on my
Goobins.
social security card.
I mean, you're gonna have to dig into this. You can't like
it's
this- you can't just like.
it's a psychotic layout.
It's so cool though. It's so neat.
I love Tanner put something for sale. Like I
It's not
usually-
for sale.
No, but you know what I mean. Like if he like his minis or whatever, like or his floppy disk with
Yes.
like,
Yeah, noise on it.
Just
Yeah.
fucking buy it because it's
yeah.
worth it. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Always, anytime, cool little indie artist, I guess is a weird term, but you just snatch it up, dude. Like it's so
or
sick.
like his crazy handwritten like monster manual, like,
Tamagotchi game. Yeah.
Tamagotchi, yeah, just so cool.
Yeah.
The thing about that too,
You could throw
it's,
that on the
it's
floor, it's
so
okay.
crunchy. It's like there's so much crunch to it, but it's also so easy to play. And every time we're like, oh, it'd be really cool if Tanner did this in the game, and then he'd be like, actually,
You
like
just have to- you
Gabe
have
would
to
be like, actually,
squint
hold
a
on,
little harder.
I'm turning 30 pages further into the book, and it's right here, paragraph C. It's right there.
Yeah. No, we were talking about it last time, where it's just like he takes an idea and then just tweaks it just a little bit further. I was talking about Sarah. We were hiking, and I was talking at her about how
we
like
do.
a lot of times like making art or making like impactful art is like, okay, you have an idea and then you just figure out how to tweak it just like a little bit more. You take that idea and you're just like, okay, this is what people would expect a sci-fi RPG to look like. Like, how do I just kind of slightly turn this to make it so somebody can see my direction, how I got this idea, but then also like how I surprise them with something new. And I feel like Tanner
Dude,
is always
this
doing
printout. Like, don't change a thing. Like, photocopy this this printout, and then
This bad
bind it,
printout?
and then bind it in a book.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
You'll figure it out,
yeah. Like,
or you won't.
There's page numbers.
I
Right?
think if there's a
there's
page
numbers.
glossary,
I mean, like even the shit that like isn't there. That,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the printer didn't pick up. Like,
yeah, fill in the blank.
Just
Well, yeah,
do
that
it.
cover is so warped.
Oh, that's my favorite. He said he wanted
Yeah.
to use that as an alternate cover.
it's great as long as there's page numbers. I mean, dude, you're golden, man.
Like there's this table back here that's just like shit just didn't print. Like just leave it that way.
Oh, is that the one the critical hit ammo chart?
Yeah, yeah.
that
that's-
one's great.
Yeah. But so to bring that back to kind of what I guess our topic is, but the zine culture for RPGs is very much like that. Where like Gen Con has like that alley where it's like if you just have your hands out and just kind of walk down, you'll get 40 zines.
See, this is like special
Oh,
because
really?
zine culture in RPGs has kind of become like mix'em zines or like things that have like really and I mean I'm an artist and I love good layout and stuff, but like this like the stuff that Tanner does specifically, like this is a fucking zine. Like
Are you saying it's like too polished now?
it's too polished. It's always sourced from the same printers. They all start to look and feel the same. It become, or they are too slick, you know? And there's definitely, I definitely love that stuff, but I really love when I get something like this. That's
a thing you have to actually sink your teeth into to digest.
Honestly, he should just print it out, staple it in one corner, and sell it like that.
Honestly,
or just get that cheap piece of plastic that clips.
Yeah.
on
Binder binder there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a 3-ring binder.
Hear that, Tanner? Yeah. Oh, I love that.
No, it's also funny in a world of highly polished everything. Everything needs to be so presentable and so Instagrammable that making something like that where you're just this looks like a piece of shit I found on the ground or something like that. I did just slap this thing together. It's you've created an aesthetic. You've created something new that people can't. It surprises them, and it's man, what a great opportunity for people that want to be freaks to just be it's just such an easy world for you to surprise people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's but I don't know, man. I love it. I love it when I this. Even the stuff you sent me, you sent me a photo zine, right? And it's just very lo-fi. You just had
was it the sticks?
Colored.
That's
think,
my favorite.
I think you sent me 2 of them.
Did I?
Maybe, yeah.
I sent you one that definitely had Gage in it. I feel like there was some collaged images of Xerox pictures and stuff.
What the fuck? I didn't give my rights to that.
Sorry. You also didn't get one, probably.
I know I didn't.
That's something that was obvious. You made, right? It was obviously made by a person. You didn't send the files off to a printer who printed, trimmed it. It had rough edges. It comes with, a sticker that you printed off your fucking your laser printer or whatever, that kind. That's.
I think it's so
cool
much.
Shit.
It's very telling, especially in zine culture, where the finished product, what they were going for in the process of making it. If someone wants a slick product that they can advertise or take a picture with or whatever to sell it, it'll have that look. Whereas we have Tanner's book in front of us, so that's why we keep saying it. But it's something like that is just no, this is the information I'm putting in here. I don't care how you process it. Here it is.
Yeah. It is art.
Yes,
it is
exactly.
It is art in itself. It's kind of going back to the slickness. That's why I never once called Summoning Sickness a zine, even though it's it is the format because it's got nice paper, it's got nice ink, it's got it's too slick. And I sent it off it got printed locally, but it still got I didn't run it off a computer or I didn't have a risograph or I didn't have I didn't or Steve's ash cans for the old flame stuff. That's awesome shit too, right? It's just a different beast altogether. And I think it's very healthy to have both. You need both. You need both to have a strong community, and that's why I'm loving seeing everything that Tanner does because right now I think everything is really slick.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So, I love seeing stuff like this because
especially in war games, it's you have the Osprey side of things where it's
God,
just I'll take an illegible book any day over an Osprey, dry as hell. Here you go.
Personally,
I feel there's a hot take coming.
I like that.
Say whatever you want.
I personally
love Osprey.
Really dislike looking through Osprey books.
It's horrendous.
So much.
And even though Frostgrave, good game. Gaslands, good games.
Yes, but
they're not fun to read.
People always go, but have you seen the hardcover versions? And it's yes, they're still dog shit. And the layout is to save money or whatever their excuse is every time. The page breaks are in the middle of the fucking page. The chapter head is at the bottom, and I'm looking for a warband sheet, and it's the picture is off to the side. It's just I don't know why, but it should not be accepted.
Well, it's always been like that too.
Yeah,
even with all the historical books I used to get. 25 years ago.
It's a lot of just it's a lot of I have X amount of text. I'm dropping it onto a page, but I'm not thinking about where where the page ends and where the words end.
That's crazy.
It is, especially for a game, like something that you need to, like, I need to turn to a page to quickly reference
there
something.
has to be an ebb and a flow to
I
a
can't,
game book.
I shouldn't have to flip pages to get to, like, to get to information.
It's the 100-year-old man that's chained to a desk that has never changed his layout.
Also, they gotta those historical
You gotta get an artist.
artist thing, like forever, like even since I was a kid, they've never like grabbed me. You know, it's always like the three French soldiers standing next to each other. That you know,
Oh, here we go.
You know what I mean? Or like it's like the three weird German guys.
The cannon troop.
No, like it's never like interesting because there's like amazing artists out there that do like Don Triani and all these people who do like amazing historical art, and I never understood like the very like not dumbed down, but very just like art that they had on that. It never grabbed me as a history guy. That's just my other hot take on on Osprey stuff.
Sorry, Mr. Osprey.
Well, because all the guys just look like they're just like witnessing like a very boring play.
Or they're just like a thing standing there.
Yeah.
Like, it's never
it's supposed
never
to be, it's supposed to be guys storming the Alamo, and he's just kind of like, hey, what's up?
Can't wait till Mr. Osprey knocks on your door at 3 a.m. this morning.
Never, dude. I'll fight him. It's gonna be Steve's door, so it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Where were we before we started shit talking?
Zine culture. Right?
Oh yeah. But is it so? It's really like that. You go to any of these cons?
I mean, well, Gen
You're a
Con's the
con guy.
largest, but like PAX Unplugged is
Who was doing the little BattleTech scene?
Evan.
That was Evan. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
There it
this
is.
was your first PAX Unplugged last year, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I mean, you went around where Johan and everyone was hanging out back there. But that whole thing, if you just walked out with your hands out, you would have gotten 20 zines for free. Just people were passing out whatever.
Yeah, Adam Vass was down there. Another fucking one, a real one. Just great game designer. Just makes the weird, like, he'll come up with the weirdest idea.
Yep.
Make a game out of it.
Now, do you think there's like too big of a flood with these games lately? Do you think it's too many?
For me to process and keep track of, maybe, but I don't.
Always too many games.
I don't think I was gonna say the quality of games has always been so vast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, bring them on, man.
Yeah,
it's
for
just-
real.
I guess it's like that's it. It's like with music, you know, where it's like sometimes I'm like on Spotify just like randomly clicking on stuff and being like, let me check this out. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not interacting with the music in the same way that I used to, which is obviously the case. You know, you're not listening to the same CD over and over again or putting the record on multiple times or whatever. You're just like clicking on this thing, listening to half of the songs and then being like, oh, fuck, this reminds me of this other band that's better than this. And going and listening to that or whatever.
Especially when there's 6 of us in here doing that all day long.
That's literally us, yeah. And then just like bouncing around and seeing all of these things. And I'm like, man, am I not getting the full effect of these games because there's such a, music, because
possibly.
there's such a wide variety of
Yeah,
them.
and especially when you think about like systems, like there's so many systems, right? Like so many new games coming out, so many systems, not enough time to try them. But I mean, the other end of that stick is like you got D&D and like that's it, right? Like,
Right.
So
Yeah.
Totally. No, absolutely.
I will take the flood.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
Yeah, take 3,000 games or 5.5 beat you over the head.
Even if you
version.
find 2 or 3 that like you stick with for the rest of your life, right? Like
no, totally.
it's just awesome to see that much like creativity and love of games, and people are like thinking about games now, right? Like they're really like looking at old games, seeing what worked, what didn't work, like the quality of life improvements when you're looking through these books, from layout to language to like paring down rules, finding crunch that's good, cutting out the crunch that's bad. Like it's really impressive. It's really
That's
awesome.
our boy, Big Boy Game Time.
Yeah.
Right now, the last 3 things that he's put out is like such a good mix of crunch and not, where it's like actually flowing. Like Bloodwork is legitimately like one of the best games I've been playing lately. It's just such a fun melding of like mechanics that you can also even do what we were talking about with miniatures, bringing it into the game. But it's like, and you wouldn't get that if someone wasn't because his intro was 5th edition, and you can see a little bit of that seed in there, but it's still like, okay, I'm going to take what I like from that, but I'm going to go back to these other systems and steal the different crunch from all of them. And it's such a good melding. Yeah. And him and so many other people are doing it too.
And I guess relating that to music, it's like, you know, we all have those artists that it's just like, well, nobody will probably understand why I like this so much, but I freaking love this. And it's like some random obscure thing or whatever.
Just Terry yelling at you about Disembodied for the 12th time.
Yeah. This is so good. You like Chat Pile? It's the Disembodied. It's the same thing, but 25 years ago or
Chat Pile is Meshuggah on heroin or is Disembodied, but slower? Or faster?
No, I don't know. I think it's pretty. Yeah. I think it's pretty similar. I don't know. I say listen to Disembodied. If God only knew the rest were dead. But like those kind of things where it's like, oh, okay, like I love this band. You know what I mean? And it like influences like a lot of like the way you interact with the world. And so I think that games are kind of like that. Like even if you end up finding just one that, like you said, one or two that you really stick with that nobody else really understands, it's like, well, then later on, 20 years from now, you'll meet that group of freaks, you know, like anybody in this 28 community that's just like, I also love that freaking game. We have the same brain. And then all of a sudden, like, you have that connection between, you know, I don't know, people across countries or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We see it on Discord all the time now, too. It's like it's happening in real time in front of our eyes on the Discord. If somebody from Australia, you know, gets all stoked on something, somebody from England says the same thing, it's sick.
However, from an outsider, just like with music, though, too, from an outsider's perspective, I'm also like, I don't even know what's DCC. And it's just like, oh, fuck, I got a lot of work to do. You know, it feels that way.
But the work, that's part of the fun.
It is.
Like with music,
it is.
right?
Like with music.
Like with music. You hear a song or you see an album cover, right? Yeah. Like remember the day when you used to work I used to work in a record store, so like I'd flip through stuff, people would trade in like CDs and stuff, be like, oh shit, what's this? And then like you throw it in and like
sucks.
Most of the time it did suck, but sometimes it like blew
Volume
your
4
mind.
with a purple wizard, man? What's this?
You know? It's freaking sick. I mean, that happened with Cathedral, Ethereal Mirror.
Or you go to a show.
Yeah.
Dude, that album I just like randomly found at Goodwill and I was like, what the fuck is this album cover doing? And I remember popping that in and being like, oh, this is fucking cool, man. And I love that album now. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, I guess you just start. You just go with something and you're just like, okay, I'm going to try this out.
It's like anything. You find, like, you get introduced to it and that's your starting point. Like people... Like most people, it's D&D, but you know, or like Warhammer or whatever, right? Like,
oh, totally.
And then it just goes all, like you kind of find your niche within the niche.
Ooh, this brings up a great question that I love asking people. Do you think it's better, especially from the RPG side of things? Do you think it's better to introduce someone now to a D&D or to like would you be like, okay, here's OSE or like?
Well, I mean, OSE is D&D. But like with
I'm saying
with better
like
layout and stuff. Like 5th edition.
Yeah.
Because I don't think 5th edition is a beginner friendly game. Mm-hmm. I mean, when we
really want to play D&D.
When we were growing up, it was more like a necessity that you learn to play it because that's the game that you had, right? But we also had like I think that like old White Wolf games are much easier to play.
Yep.
Like if you, especially like second or revised edition, like Vampire the Masquerade or something like that. I mean, when we were in high school, we played that like it was D&D. Like it wasn't in like.
You think second edition Vampire is easier than D&D?
Dude, you just add the dots. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like how is that? Like add the dots, hit a 7. Like. Versus keeping track of your spells,
your 17 abilities.
I think I'm just looking at it because I remember the Vampire book reminding me of the Shadowrun book, and there's so much shit.
Well, I mean, like it maybe a little bit when it came to like the different types of firearms, maybe, and like
there's just a lot of stuff.
Combat was combat was also a little weird between second and revised because I think like the way initiative worked, like when I play World of Darkness, I think I use the revised rules where it's like whoever wins initiative declares last and acts first. So like whoever's slowest is like if Gage, if you're slowest, you're like, I'm going to punch Steve and Steve's like next in line or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Steve would be like, well, I'm going to split my actions. I'm going to dodge your punch. And then I'm going to, you know, and then, you know, if I'm next, then I can react. And
You weren't playing rock paper scissors for your games?
No, we weren't LARPing. That's more. I was talking about Garrett earlier. That's that's Garrett's thing, man.
Garrett's
He
thing for
is
sure.
a LARP man. I tried to do it, and I could it just makes my skin crawl. Unfortunately, I wish I could get into it because it seems really fucking cool sometimes when like people get really into it.
Right.
But
Vampire LARP's crazy.
But I would say that a World of Darkness system, the DOT system, is much easier to introduce people to than D&D. But now we've got Merkborg. It's like hit a 12. Like,
Oh my god.
you got 3-4 stats or whatever, hit a 12. We've got strip down things like Karen, like super easy to play.
Yep.
And then you can get crunchier, basic role-playing system, just hit percentages.
Because we get asked all the time on the Discord, and then just like even in the Patreon channel, they're like, how do I get someone into games? Do I recommend a Warhammer? And we're like, maybe.
Well, yeah,
it's like, really, what do you want?
Yeah, but that's hard because
it's tough because I don't know. I also kind of feel like you might find the real ones that way though.
Yes. And that's the thing. Yeah. You'll weed out the weak a certain way.
It's kind of trial by fire.
Yeah.
If you see somebody where like really clicks with them and it becomes like a lifelong passion.
Yeah. They're ready to track spreadsheets. Yeah. Go for it.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. Like I run games for my nephew and like we play Merkborg, we play Mothership, we're going to start playing DCC.
Mm-hmm.
I originally started running D&D for him, but I really dislike running D&D.
Yeah.
I like playing in D&D, but I really dislike running it. So it was very like wing it, like no books, no books, no masters.
And in those, and then those moments, you're still stealing from the things you're familiar with anyway. So
exactly,
it becomes something else.
Yep. And it's also great running for kids because they're so dumb and they like don't know the tropes.
Yeah.
And so like you just do
making this all up,
dude. It, like you blow in their mind. And it's like the most basic.
Yeah.
Like
there's a chest in the middle of the room. What do you do?
Oh, and they open it and it's a mimic or
what?
that's cool. Yeah,
It's the best. Yeah.
That's cool. I never even thought of that.
Because then you get to almost relive it again.
Or it runs cyborg, ransom cyborg with them, and like just the tropiest like little twists, like the guy that hired you is really the bad guy. Like, oh my god,
yeah.
Oh, you're pumping me up right now.
That's cool. That is cool.
That's still cool
Kids and Tyler.
Dude, yeah.
I
want to do that.
Yeah, it's just the stuff that we all take for granted that like they don't know about. It's really neat.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with leaning into a trope. It's a trope for a reason.
Yeah, right. But it's it's one thing if if I'm running a game and you're like, oh, I get it. Like,
yeah.
But
I love Total Recall.
But these kids, yeah, exactly. But these kids, like, they haven't seen the movies. Like, it just rips shit up. Like, just bits of
cool
media,
in both aspects.
like books that I've read that I know that their dumbasses never read.
Oh, you've never seen this before, but someone who has, they're like, oh, that's cool because I have seen that.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, now last question before we leave. Do you have do you have an RPG that you feel like is like your baby? Like the one that you go back to all the time, the one that you love the most. It's your best friend of an RPG.
It's your warm blanket.
It's your warm blanket of an RPG. Do you have one?
I don't think I really have one, but I do have one that's like special to me that I don't think a lot of people have, and I love the One Ring.
Oh, interesting.
I love it. I love the first edition. I think the second edition is still really good, but I'm a huge Tolkien head, so like, and it is just a great system for playing in that world. And it's got an interesting combat system. I just think it's really good.
I never would have guessed that you would have said that.
I really like it.
I bought that book and have probably opened it once, unfortunately.
I mean, so it's kind of, you really have to have, at least in my opinion, because like I'm so into it, right? Finding the right group to play it with has been exceedingly difficult. Yeah, because like
I need Terry at your table
because right, like
he's a Tolkien head.
Yeah, so if like I want people who know the books a little bit, at least a little bit, right? Have read like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings at least. If they've read the Silmarillion, even better. But like getting people who are into the setting and like into the like sort of the style and aesthetic and pacing that
Like
Tolkien
being a
has.
believable character in that world.
A little bit,
almost,
yeah.
yeah.
Like because that's kind of what I want out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I can't
And-
play my wild magic sorcerer in your Tolkien game.
I mean,
My dragonborn wild magic sorcerer.
yeah, exactly. No Dragonborns. For sure.
I don't want to play that.
Sorry, Joe Manganiero.
Yeah.
Hey, don't
Sorry.
talk too badly about that guy here.
He's huge, dude.
Listen,
Yeah.
He's at GaryCon every year. Yeah, he's always hanging out. He's really nice, actually.
he?
Yeah,
I
he's,
wouldn't
he's
know,
really
but I
nice.
Him and Danny talked for like a
Oh.
good 20 minutes, and I just sat there and.
Did
you
he
love
have
death saves.
Did he have his weird little dog with him?
No, he didn't. This is pre-dog days.
Dude, he's.
But I did get to,
dog.
the whole time I was talking to DJ Diesel Boy, who is
That's
Wow.
he's the cooler guy behind Death Saves.
DJ Diesel Boy. Yeah, baby. All right. Well, hey, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an
Thanks for
absolute
picking me up from
pleasure.
the airport like
Yes.
6 to 12 hours after I said I was supposed to land, Gage.
This is a late one.
Oh,
Yeah. Now you're gonna go drop him back off at the airport so you can go home, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
yeah.
great.
And I'm going to
Pa-
fly back up tomorrow for our king.
Yeah,
That's it. Just go home, go to bed, and come
The
back.
patron
next day.
sponsored
No
flight has to
biggie.
send them back.
Well, you guys have fun at ArcaneCon. I might come by a little bit towards
better.
the
You
end.
should, dude.
Well, I'm gonna try to, dude.
You have to.
come roleplay with me, dude.
Yeah, we'll come roll on the rug.
Yeah, we'll roll
Jiu-jitsu style.
Sure.
It'll be like Paul and Steve, but it'll be you and me.
It's
and
a
we
new
won't know
game.
what we're doing.
It's a new
But you
game
guys
that
get to
and
wear
I-
clothes.
Yeah.
What?
Thanks for checking out this episode of Hive Scum. If you aren't already part of the community, check us out at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description below. If you have questions you'd like to ask us, you can find our Instagrams down below as well. Or feel free to ask away on the Discord. We also have plenty of extra content and other perks available to our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in helping us keep doing what we're doing, then you can find that description below as well. Until next time, folks, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.